Alright guys, today we're going to be talking about the Pulsar Trail Pro 2s. Alright guys, today we're going to be talking about the Pulsar Trail Pro 2s.
I bring the energy.
This shoe immediately became a favorite, but has slowly taken more of a backseat for me, and I'm going to tell you why in this review. First off, let's go over some of the specs. This shoe has a stack height of 33 millimeters in the back and 27 millimeters in the front, giving us a 6 millimeter drop in the shoe. Weighing in at 9.1 ounces, it is actually quite light for a trail running shoe. Lug depth on this shoe is 3 millimeters and 5 millimeters, putting it at an average traction for a Salomon running shoe. And living up to its name, the specs on the shoe live up more towards the pro side of trail running. So let's jump into the things that I really liked about this shoe. First off, the comfort. This is a light shoe and it has a good amount of cushion and protection, which is honestly why I initially fell in love with it. I felt like I could go forever in these shoes due to the ratio of weight and cushion. Sometimes when you have a lightweight shoe, you don't have the protection that you need, and I felt like these shoes really struck a good balance there because they didn't weigh very much, but I also got the cushioning and the protection that I need on my foot for some technical trails. The next thing I loved about the shoe is this liner right here. I think it's the Sockliner or something like that, but it essentially makes it really difficult for rocks and dirt and other debris to get down inside your shoe while you're running. So this suctions or has the elasticity to hug around your ankle, not to give support. It just serves as protection for dirt and other things to get in there. So I absolutely loved the Sockliner on this shoe. It was a huge bonus when you're running in the summer months, especially when you're coming downhill. I tend to get stuff in my shoes and it drives me nuts because then you have to stop if you're on a long run, pull off your shoes, dump them out. With this shoe, I didn't have to do it near as frequently. As usual with Salomon, they do have the quick lace system, and that's just something that I always like on my trail shoes. Next is durability. I'm well over 100, probably close to 120 miles on these shoes, and it feels like they've just barely gotten started. So I have a lot of confidence that these shoes will last a long time. And last, the traction. It's not really a pro for me. It's not something that I absolutely love about this shoe, but it's fine. With the lug height of about 5 millimeters on the high end. I wish they would go up to more like 7 millimeters, but it's definitely not something that I don't like about this shoe. It doesn't detract from the value. Okay, so next let's talk about the things that I don't like about the shoe. And if you're paying attention, that was a lot of pros. That was a lot of things that I do like. There's not much left to talk about on the negative side, but there were two things. The first thing resolved itself pretty quickly because this shoe needed a break-in period. I haven't had a shoe that needed a break-in period for quite a while, but this shoe did, at least for me. And it was because when I started to run uphill, if you look at the back of this shoe, there is a seam that goes down the back right here. On the inside, they haven't done much on the inside to protect your heel from that seam. And so when I first started running in this shoe, I could feel that seam on my heel, but I think it was because I just needed to break it in and it wasn't doing this 4-foot flex that it needs to do in order to give my heel some room in the back. And so after my first, 2 or 3 runs, I didn't have that issue going uphill anymore, and I haven't felt any rubbing on my heel since then. So I think it was just a break-in period that needed to happen with this shoe. And the second thing is the reason why I've kind of fallen out of love with this shoe, and it's taken more of a backseat in my trail running shoes. And it's because I've noticed that on my longer runs, that right here on the inside of my foot, so this is the inside of my shoe, this is my big toe on this side. So right here, I will start to experience a hot spot right where my foot, right where it flexes. And I will get a hot spot right there, but it's only on really long runs. I'll only start to feel it after about 8 miles. And so this shoe, I continue to run in this shoe, but only on my shorter days. So anything over 8 miles, I will start to feel a hot spot right here, just where it's continuing to flex every time. And I have a theory as to why. And in order for me to explain that, I need to tell you about the first trail, or in order to explain that, I need to talk about the Pulsar Trail Pro originals, not the 2s, the originals. And I ran in those last year. I still have them right here. And I actually loved these shoes, but there was a huge hang up, and I didn't even do a review of these because I ended out only putting, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 miles on these. And it was because when you would rock, this is the inside of the shoe right here, when you would rock, it would kind of force your foot to roll like this to the inside. And so it was kind of forcing, it was forcing like a pronation of your foot. And it was really causing weird stuff with my stride. I was tripping a little bit, and I didn't like the feel of it. But everything else about the shoe I loved, and so I was like, I really hope that they do a second version of these and fix that. And it seems like they have fixed about 95% of it, because I think on that inside crease right here, I think that's why I'm feeling that pressure still, and that hot spot is coming. And it's because it's forcing a little bit of roll to the inside of my foot because of lack of support or something over here. And so for me, that is why I have some sort of hot spot there. But I will say that I am not a stability runner. I do not need stability on the inside of my shoe. And I know I'm not the only one that has experienced this, at least on the original Pulsar Trail Pros. I talked to one of my trail runner friends that had those shoes, and he experienced the same roll to the inside of the foot on every stride. It was kind of like you'd start out on kind of either flat foot if you're a flat foot striker, or on your heel, and you'd feel that roll to the inside of your foot. And it just felt weird. But anyways, all of that to say, they seem to have fixed it 95% of it. I'm still going to run in the shoe because it's not affecting my stride. It's not affecting anything outside of the long runs. I will experience a little bit of a hot spot. And for me, it's just not a deal breaker because I love everything else about the shoe. Seriously, if it didn't have that hot spot, it would have surpassed my undying love for the Salomon Ultra Glides and the Ultra Glide 2s. But anyways, I just wanted to share my experience with this shoe, hopefully to help educate you. And if you are a stability runner, I might stay away from these shoes. But if you're a neutral runner like me, you might get away with it, and you might enjoy everything else about the shoe like I have. Anyways, I hope this review helped you make a more educational decision on whether or not to buy these shoes. If you found it helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me know that I'm making good content, and hopefully I'll see you out on the trails.